Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. This is the one, the only, the filmpreneur, Mr. Forrest Tuff. Tuff, Forrest, how are you, my friend?
Man, I'm doing good. What's going on, Anthony? Good to be here.
Nothing much, man. As you can see, I've got THESPIANWERX going on right here, and I'm trying to follow the footsteps of Tuff Talk. I got a chance to watch an episode or two of Tuff Talk, and I saw the episode. The first episode I saw was the one where you had your dad on there. That was actually pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, really, that's something we have to do. If we have fathers in our lives, I think it's up to us to, talk about them. We hear a lot about fathers not being there. So in my situation where my dad has been there and had an impact, man, I thought that was the best way to kick off my season, is talking about fatherhood and, the impact it's had on my life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, your parents both did an awesome job raising an awesome man. And I'd like to just get you to speak about the origins of Forrest Tuff, where you're from, and what sparked your interest in the film industry.
Well, I'm from Atlanta. I was born, out here in Atlanta, man. I was raised in Decatur. And so I actually, had a stint where I played basketball. I had NBA dreams. I went to play college ball. I played Division I. And, that dream ended due to a career-ending injury. And so my family has always been artistic. They draw, sing, we've acted and done a lot of things. So naturally, as I started to get on my entrepreneurial journey much later on, I found myself drawn to the arts. I found myself getting back into the graphic design, the photography, the music videos. For a while I was doing music videos, and I actually directed a music video called Swag Surfing. And that's kind of this HBCU anthem now. So, that was kind of the origins of me getting into that in the entertainment business, because, I remember even during the Olympics back in '96, I was working with Rowdy Records. I was doing promotion. So I would always go to different clubs around Atlanta, putting on music. So I was always into that music entertainment. So that's how it kind of got going, how it got started.
Okay. And do you still dabble in music?
Yeah. I still, produce. And I actually had a comedy show where I actually was this rapper. I was this fake gangster rapper, and I was actually making tracks and rapping, man. It was pretty cool, but I dabble, I still have an ear close to the ground, but I kind of moved into a different direction. But I'm always in tune with music, even for scores and things that will make a difference, even, when you're producing films.
I totally understand that. And I know how it is when you're musically inclined and interested in music when you're much younger. One thing a lot of people don't know about me, and I don't know if this is something that, is actually cool, or it's probably pretty infamous right now, but I actually, in high school, I was a rapper. I was a rapper. I was a rapper in high school, so much so that I was part of a quartet that opened for R. Kelly. Yeah.
What?
I kid you not.
Hey, listen, we know where R is now, but back in the day, R. Kelly, boy, that was big. That was big. R ran the music scene, man. That's major. So y'all open for him?
Yeah, we opened for him. There was a girl group, a girl duo. They sung, and then me and my partner, we did the raps in between. So it's the four of us actually doing. We had a live band, we had a keyboard player, we had a drum player, and it was actually pretty cool because we got the show was actually at a college auditorium. We got a chance to go back there and see what was going on, and we're in the locker room changing and everything. We go past his dressing room, and he's got like 5 or 6 tables put together and this huge spread and all this kind of stuff. And then another cool part is we actually got a chance to play basketball with him before the show started. So that was pretty cool too.
You still dabble in music now, or that's kind of...
Honestly, if I sat here and told you that I didn't think of raps or nothing like that, I'd be lying. Because I mean, in my spare time, it's just I'm inclined to do it. I just have never had anywhere to just really put it down. But my focus is really on acting. But trust me and believe me, that music bug is still biting the crap out of me all day, every day.
I always say this, man. Anything that we did in life, especially now when you're in film, it always can come back to be something that if you have to get cast for a role and they need somebody that has some bars, just the cadence of a rapper. Sometimes the biggest issue with acting is being authentic.
Right.
And if you have these skill sets that you had back in the day, I say don't forget them because, with all the work that you've been doing, you never know. You might have a scene where you might have to be in the entertainment industry. You might have to have a couple of bars to spit. So that's cool, man. It's good to know that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I
Yeah,
appreciate that. I definitely do, man. So yeah, I'm,
yeah,
I'm always thinking of raps, and like I'm one of those guys that likes to go online, and even with some of the projects that I do, I surf and I find royalty free music,
that's
and
right.
I just really don't have anywhere to put it down. I've got the Audacity thing, but I really
Yeah,
don't play with it as much as I should. But I probably could do something,
yeah,
you know.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most definitely. So you and I actually met doing a film
yeah,
for Shauna Lena.
that's right.
And those of you who don't know Shauna Lena, she won the best film at the Peachtree Village International Film Festival
That's
in
right.
2018, I believe.
2018.
And we did a film with her called A Swing and a Switch.
Hmm.
And it was for the it was an Easter Seals film project.
Yeah,
And that was actually pretty cool because that was the first time I'd actually done some behind the scenes work
that's right.
on a film. Tell us about as far as film and filming goes. Now, I looked at some of your accomplishments. Um, over 30 times an award winner at film festivals and other different ventures as far as films go. Um, so you're very knowledgeable about things as far as film go. When it comes to the filmmaking process, what would you say for you are the easiest and the hardest processes?
It depends on which hat you're wearing. I think in our industry, we've, especially being here in Atlanta, we've seen, people like Spike Lee, these guys making movies back in the day. Now Tyler Perry came along with a different process. He showed us that, we didn't necessarily have to have the entire shebang to make a film, and so that's one of the things for me. I've worn different hats. I've been a writer, producer, director. So the challenge for me is always being best in the role that I'm playing. So if I'm actually writing a script, to actually, utilize the skills as a director, or producer, or cinematographer. So when I'm writing, I have some idea of what's happening. I think the problem that I have, Anthony, is that I wear a lot of different hats, and with that, you have to learn how to, hone those skills. But oftentimes, just learning how to play your position when it's necessary. So for me, I think that would be, I would have to say, my biggest challenge, because when I started non-traditionally, so I was doing a lot of different things in the film industry. So the biggest process for me that I've had to adapt to is working in one aspect. So if I'm the editor of a film, stay in that lane. I don't have any input to give if I'm on the set, and I think that works when you're working with different people, is they can respect you if you learn to stay in your lane, and even though they know you can do different things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's very key. A lot of what you said is very key. Now, I look behind you and everybody's got a backdrop like I just have this right here, but you, my friend, have a backdrop that is very awesome because I look behind you and I see award after award after award after award after award. And that is so awesome. Um Tell us about some of the awards you won.
It's ranged from, there are different awards, like for film industry awards to marketing, branding awards for corporations and companies that way. I've also won some. I won awards as a director. I've won awards as a producer, as a cinematographer, and even as an editor, and even as a graphic designer, because I've designed a lot of posters for movies. So I think it's that creative bug, like I told you, that I had, long ago. It's just film allows me to utilize these skill sets to create, and for me, that's been the biggest thing. And, you go out, you don't necessarily try to win awards, but, you do want to market your stuff. You do your due diligence to create great products, first of all, great projects that resonate. And, you put them out there. And when you start to get awarded, you're thankful for it. And I think there's a little bit of that creative business side of me. That's why I became the filmpreneur, because I'm creative, but that competitive business side also exists. And for me, that's just the route that I think will work for me in trying to, continue to break into this film industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you did mention the name the Filmpreneur.
Yeah.
Uh tell me about the origins of the Filmpreneur. I mean, that's a cool name,
Yeah,
and
appreciate it.
I'm assuming it's trademarked.
Yeah, I just got my trademarks in
Awesome,
December. Yeah, December. I just finally got it. So,
awesome, awesome.
so actually, man, about 3 years ago, when I started doing films, I did my first film like in 2013, and I started trying to find my, who am I in this business? Because the thing about it, there's a lot of great film producers and people making movies here, and just period. So I think getting into this game without the network of film, I was trying to find out who am I. I love the creative aspect, but like I say, I'm really big into the paperwork, the business, and making a profit from my films. And so I started thinking, like, oh, I'm a creative, but I'm a business person. So I was like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker, but I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I married those words together, filmpreneur. Now, the truth is, I wasn't the first person to ever come up with that word, because I looked it up and I saw some people had used the word maybe in the past once or twice sparingly. But I said it's not being done. I went and got some, the domain names. I registered it with the Urban Dictionary. It's actually registered in the Urban Dictionary, and
Wow,
I got an attorney, and I started using the hashtag to try to make sure I had a back history. And so that's when I actually got the trademark filed. Started that process about 2 years ago, and it finally came through in December 2020. So that's the filmpreneur.
man, I can respect that as a business major and
Yeah.
somebody who is degreed in sales and marketing. You
Oh,
market
that's what's
yourself
up.
very well, man.
Thank you. I
That is
appreciate
so
it.
awesome. Yeah, that
Thank
is
you.
so awesome. Now,
Thank you.
as far as film goes, now me personally, I've done film, I've done television, I've done web series. One thing I have yet to do is theater. I've yet to do theater, and I
Yeah.
understand that you have a background in theater. Please enlighten us on your contributions to theater as a whole.
Well, I did not go to the School of the Arts. I would love to. I think that would have been a great thing for me, but I had sports. But later on, as I moved forward, my father is a pastor and he has a church. And some of the things we do a lot of stage plays and dramas within the church. And I think that background that I have in project management and business, we had a play that came about, and I was telling him, I said, I think, this is something we ought to take to a bigger, venue. I think it'll be really great for the community and have an impact. And so they challenged me. They said, well, we don't know anything about that. Is that something you think you can do? I said, listen, let me take charge of this. I'll just go ahead and, I got into the venue, found out the price. It was actually, at the time, it's now SCAD Theater. It's actually 14th Street Playhouse. And so I contacted the Playhouse, found out about that, found out about the process of ticket sales. The writer of the play, we got her to be the director. They had rehearsals at different venues. We actually recorded music. So all these things that I had in my different background, I started to put them together because it was almost a Broadway style musical. We had live music, recorded music, on the actual stage play. And so when we actually had it at the 14th Street Playhouse, it was marketed so well. It was actually on the main stage, and we had a sold out show at the very beginning. So for me, that was my stint into theater, working with the directors and the actors and just overseeing the entire project and the musicians. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Indeed, sounds awesome. Like I
Yeah,
said, I've never done it. I was actually scheduled to be a part of a stage play in January. Like I said, due to scheduling conflicts, I wasn't able to make the auditions,
yeah,
and I wasn't able to do it. But I'm hoping to get into theater later on because I've heard so many actors talk about the challenges of theater, mainly because one, it's just one take.
that's right.
Like you're just it's in doing movies and things like that.
Hmm.
One thing I'm able to do that I've learned about myself, you get dialogue, you get a script dialogue, and then you read it, you memorize it, and
Yeah.
then you speak it so much so that it becomes natural. And
Hmm.
then sometimes you can recognize gaps in the dialogue to kind of ad lib and put a little more of your personality in there.
Right.
Now, the more you do that in film and television, you've got more takes to do it.
That's right.
And that's why it's easier to do.
Yeah.
And with theater, from what I've been told, you can't really do it because it's just one long take. And I've had somebody who's actually worked with me in on a scene. Um, I was actually doing the scene and forgot one of my lines.
Hmm.
And my scene partner said something to me that made me think about it instantly, and it came
Right.
off without a hitch.
That's
And
right.
I asked her, well, actually, I didn't ask her. She said, I got that from working theater.
That's right.
I got that from working theater. And have you ever acted in theater, or has all of your contributions to theater been behind the scenes?
No, no, I started out, I've done some acting. I've done acting in plays and behind and on camera. And like you say, the challenge is if you start either way, there's that learning curve of understanding how it works. Because if you start out with film, you know that, hey, I have to nail these scenes. I get chances to knock it out. But, in live theater, it's like people are watching you and like you have to deliver right then. And if you miss that line, I mean, a second seems like an eternity because it's like pins and needles. And you may not see the people, but you see those lights and you know that everybody is waiting. But one thing about, thespians and people that have worked in that atmosphere, they know how to pick up lines to keep it going. And they know that, hey, this is real time. We're giving people a real time experience. So they learn how to, make sure that those lines get picked up. If there's a gap, if it needs to get filled in, they'll fill it in if they need you to pick those lines up. But that's a trait that you learn, rehearsing those lines and rehearsing those lines. And I actually did a movie, which is interesting. I trained the actors in the way that I would work with actors on a set, on a stage play. I actually had them rehearse their lines all the way through, like no stops. Like, we're gonna do this short
Okay.
film. I want you to rehearse it all the way through. I want you to know these lines back and forth. And it was kind of different for them. But when we actually did the set, it was so interesting because when they had gotten so used to playing off of each other, when they were doing the lines, there was a lot of
Mm.
organic things that happened. And it was like, wow, like, oh man, that was powerful. Keep that, and we were able to do it in shorter takes. It was an experiment that I wanted to do. And we did an 8-minute short. We did it in a 4-hour shoot. And we were able to knock it out. And we had like 5 or 6 different takes, different angles plus cutaways. But it was an interesting experience for them, because they weren't used to actually knowing the lines that way. But I think it's good to work on either way. Like you said, Anthony, learn it the way that people do in theater and your way you do it in film and TV.
Absolutely. And with something like that happening, how important do you think improv is as far as theater goes?
I think there's a certain line for improv. I think improv is necessary to get everybody back to the origin, because when you rehearse something so much and the director, everybody has a feel, they play off of what they know is supposed to happen. It's almost like muscle memory. Sometimes you learn that this is coming. If I see that movement, that's my cue. So when you improv, you have to make sure also that certain mannerisms, where you hit your marker, or those spots are to the point where it doesn't throw off the person that's a part of that with you. Because a lot of actors in theater learn from different cues. They don't learn just from lines. They may remember, okay, when he walks to that trash can, that's my cue. So I think if,
Absolutely.
if you're going to improv, stay within some boundary that gives the people around you a sense of, yes, that's normal. I know what that means, even though that line was a little different. I know where I'm supposed to pick up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. One Vision Productions,
Yeah.
that is your company, a multi-award winning company.
Yes.
Now, as a somebody who's in film and somebody who's also an entrepreneur, you are running a successful company that is not just overnight success, but has established success and has been successful for a number of years. One of the keys in actually having a very successful business is recognizing opportunities for growth.
Hmm.
Not just not fads, but true genuine opportunities for growth.
Right.
Um, in the next 5 years, how do you see your company growing and being bigger than it already is? With the exception of winning more awards, because I'm pretty sure it's coming.
Yeah. I think as far as profitable growth, if we talk about profitable growth, there's been a lot of changes, even with the onset of COVID-19, having to do a lot more virtually. So I believe that this is actually, um, although it's been, sad in a lot of occasions, I think if you learn to, welcome the change that's happened and adapt, certain things can be a godsend to a degree. So for my company, this is helped us diversify in terms of how we looked at how we did business. Using more virtual staff, doing more virtual projects, outsourcing a lot more to 1099 contractors. It's given us a lot more flexibility, and it's given us a larger scale where normally we focus more on the Southeast, we Georgia, Florida. Now we have a larger scale. We want to branch out a little bit because we're able to make more connections through people virtually. And so for me, I've embraced this new system to be able to meet different people and new companies, because we can also offer a lot of editing services,
Right.
graphic design. You're able to find a larger scale of clients. So for me, I feel like it'll be something that allows us to not only have a larger reach in terms of work, but also contract different people in different states. So it just broadens out, and maybe even franchise to some degree in the future.
Absolutely. Now you hold several certifications. Enlighten us on those, please.
In terms of life coaching, or
Absolutely. Life
yeah.
coaching.
So recently, I've been a SCORE mentor. If you're not familiar with SCORE, it's an organization that's a resource partner with the Small Business Administration, and they offer pro bono business mentoring services. So if you're an entrepreneur startup and you need some help with your business, go see SCORE, score.org. This organization will help you pro bono, which means no cost to you, and they'll help you for the life of your business. So I decided, after being in business for about 10 years, to become a part of this organization. So that was 6 years ago. And I've been a business mentor with SCORE, working with entrepreneurs and creatives trying to get their business going. And so recently, through a lot of the coaching, having worked with, doing workshops, having worked with thousands of clients, I decided to take it a step further in my personal business and provide coaching services, because there are people that need, more. So as a mentor, there's so much that I can do with you. As a coach, I can offer you personalized services. I can show you hands on how to do certain things as opposed to pointing you in the right direction. So starting that journey last year, I decided to go through a company called Transformation Academy, a great organization. And I went in and became certified as a business coach, a life coach, and a master life coach, and just on different areas to help people, not only grow their business, but do it and be whole while they're doing it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Forrest Tuff, the CEO of One Vision Productions, the host of Tough Talk and the Filmpreneur. You can
Pleasure.
find him at forresttuff.com. Forrest, please enlighten our readers how they can also contact you, or more or less just network with you on social media.
I mean, listen, he just said it. You go to forresttuff.com. That's two R's, two T's, two F's, and all my social media is there. Just find me, shoot me an email, call me, link me. Either way, there's different ways to get at me, but if you go to my website, that'll be the best way to get in touch with me. And I wanted to add something too, Anthony.
Okay.
When I worked with Shauna Lean, I have to give her a big shout out, because when I got into the industry, she was one of the people that really helped me in terms of my growth, in terms of just getting me information. And on that project that she won Best Director, Limbo, I was
Hmm.
actually the cinematographer for that film.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was a cinematographer. So when I worked on the film with you, the Disability Challenge, that's how we just worked. But she's a great person, man. Really great person. Shauna Lena, big shouts out.
Absolutely. Shauna got great energy, man.
Yeah,
Having the
yeah,
opportunity to work with her and just see her at the film festival. If I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking she's still on the West Coast. I'm not
yeah,
sure,
yeah. I think she
but
moved to LA, man, but she's been doing big things. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely, man. I miss Shauna so much, and hopefully the stars will align where all three of us can work together.
that's right.
Absolutely. Now, Forrest, I know you're super busy. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me here on THESPIANWERX. And I'll definitely be visiting your website. I wish you all the best, and like I said, I hope the stars align where we can work together again, man.
Yeah, you're doing big things, Anthony. Keep it up, man. Always keep up with what you're doing. I love your acting and your diversity, man. That's one thing I can say about you. You stretch yourself as an actor. I see you going after different roles, and you don't
Absolutely.
pigeonhole yourself. So keep doing what you're doing, man. And it's a pleasure and an honor to be on your show. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been THESPIANWERX with Anthony Velvet Hall. Once again, I want to thank my guest, Mr. Forrest Tuff, the filmpreneur. And I hope everybody takes care of themselves. And remember three things I always tell you: life is short, death is certain, and be sure to love the people God gives you, because one day He's gonna want them back. All right,
That's right.
everybody, take care.